Do you have any experiences that have resonated, with such an irrefutability to yourselves? For me, that just brought a gratitude of thank you so much for demonstrating in a way which I can't, I don't understand. I don't need to, but it's just like, yes, it's here.
Yeah.
Have you had stuff, deep experiences?
I mean, in terms of the deep experiences, I certainly do. When you were asking me that, the first thing that came to my mind was after I recovered from lymphoma, was 2015. It was like a year later. My partner and I, we moved down from Sydney to Melbourne. And we settled down in our new apartment, and I found out that I actually became pregnant, which was not expected. And what was interesting was my hematologist back then, I don't think he was too fond of me getting pregnant within a year span. He did not express the language in such a way that he was not fond. But he said, just to be careful. And of course, I left Sydney and I had to find a new doctor. So I just wasn't sure, well, what to do with this situation, because all of a sudden my whole world was turned upside down, right? So I went to the botanical garden. I thought, well, that was the biggest garden I could get access to from where I live. I went there, get myself present, and I asked nature. I said, what shall I do in this situation? I found myself pregnant. And nature just said to me, it's going to be all right. It's going to be such a good pregnancy, and just relax and just trust. And of course, it didn't take me one ask to go, okay, I'm just going to trust because nature told me I'll be fine. We all have a very healthy dose of self-doubt, right? And particularly, as a person who recovered from cancer just a year, and of course, with my human conditioning, doctors always have the authorities, right? To a degree, sometimes they know perhaps more than I do in my human body, about my human body. I still have that, but it's getting less and less. It took me, like, okay, the first visit is like this. Okay, I'll relax. I'll keep the kid. I thought I was just gonna have one. And
did he get to the park gate and kind of look back over and go, really? Are you sure?
So in the following days and weeks and months, I just kept going back because I felt that's all I need, really. And of course, I had doubts along the way, but then I had appointments with the obstetrician, and every time I went, the doctor goes, very good, very good. And of course, as I progressed along, the further I was into the pregnancy, the more I realized nature was right all along. Right. And I had a good delivery of the kids as well. So that was that. That was one of the most profound experience for me about nature communication. Is I was like totally shocked, did not know what to do, because I was hoping to continue with my coaching business, but I had to take a break and become a mother. And I was not sure whether that was the right time to become a mother, but nature knows more than the doctor.
And so there, I suppose, obviously a tremendously profound message to be communicating to you. Here's twins and motherhood, parenthood.
Yeah.
When you asked and you got the answer from nature saying it'll be okay, would you mind talking a bit about how that message was transmitted? Was it a feeling of you know, how did it communicate to you?
Yeah, I must let viewers know that at that point I was trained with this process that we are teaching, if you like, during a 5-day your natural self exploration. So I was equipped with a process to communicate with nature, and I was taught by my trainer that nature communicates through senses, and it communicates with us in a silent language, obviously. So the way it was communicated to me was I knew that when I had this huge life-changing situation, I needed to ground myself first. So there was no point to go in and try to get the answer straight away and treating nature is all-knowing, because nature does know, but it wouldn't communicate to me the message that I could hear if I did not ground myself first. So I spent a lot of time grounding and made sure that I was in a brainwave state that was quiet enough, like a meditative state, if you like, to be able to hear clearly what nature was trying to communicate to me. And I think the details I could not remember, but sometimes was just really like the silent voice. I mean, it's not silent voice. It's like when I say silent, I could not hear nature speaking to me from outside, but it's that voice inside me. It's like my intuition, but I could tell the difference that it is not me speaking to myself. It was from wisdom greater than myself communicating to me that you're going to be okay. Other times, I think was through the way that the wind perhaps blew the bushes or the trees was communicating to me, you're going to be fine, in a very soothing way. It's like the body languages of nature is like humans, but I saw it. And because it was like humans, it was familiar to me. So I looked at it, and the moment of that communication, like, just relax, you got this, and it's going to be all right. And of course, it was not because just purely built on the beliefs, right? I went to the doctor. I had my checks, right? So I forgot the frequency, but every time I went, the doctor said it was fine. So it actually reinforced my communication and the messages I received. I'm going to be fine.
And I suppose also, you know, as you say, it's not as if you just blindly accepted that first message. Went, okay, thank you very much. I won't ask any more questions.
Yeah.
You went through the process, which was encouraging and you know, obviously positive as you went, but you went back to ask again and again.
Yeah.
And so it was you were testing, I suppose, the resolution of that. So how was that? How did that unfold?
I'm not sure I quite understand the question, Jim. I thought I have already answered it, but would you mind paraphrasing?
Yeah, for sure. I was just wondering about the times that you went back afterwards. Was it a feeling of you know, just having made the right decision and it was going well, or were the doubts answered in particular any different way, or if it was just a reassurance?
And again, I think natural communication from nature, getting assurance from nature was one thing, but I think there's also the part that I trusted my body, because at that point of my life experience, I have trained myself, if you like, to trust my own body's wisdom more and more. And our bodies are not separate from the natural world, because when we die, we go back to the earth, right? Right.
Absolutely, yes, well, yeah.
And for me to trust my own body, knowing that the right decision, excuse me, was actually to continue with the pregnancy And also hearing nature's support, and also the confirmation from the doctor, and looking at my own bodily response, because the whole time I was only sick twice.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, my body can handle this. My doctor was surprised. So you do not become sick. Okay, women are normally very sick at this stage. I was like, okay, not me.
Yeah, I mean, that is an
Mm.
immensely
Mm.
powerful message, isn't it? Yeah, you know,
Mm.
not only are you going to do all right, you are going to do triumphantly through this,
Yeah.
and there you go.
Yeah.
Wow, tremendous! And thank you again for your openness and depth of sharing
Mm.
on your reflections of obviously personal, deeply personal experiences.